here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How y'all doing today? Well, it's Thursday here in Virginia, and I'm coming to y'all today with a craft. I'm coming to make you a Deco mesh wreath with this ribbon. Remember this ribbon? This is the ribbon that Phyllis showed me via craftoutlet.com. And so I'm going to be using this, and I will go through all of the supplies as I go through making the wreath, and then I'll put a list in the description for you guys. So you guys will be able to have it, and I will let you know how much it cost me to make, although that might be a little difficult for me to figure out because I have not purchased everything that I'm going to put on this wreath. So I don't think this one is going to be one of those that has a zillion accent pieces on it. I am going to hang this either on the front light post or out on the wagon wheels as we close out the summer here. This is not a fall wreath, although this kind of looks like fall ribbon a little bit, and I am going to pair a couple more ribbons with this to make a funky bow. So, but anyway, let's get started. Let's get this camera turned around and pointed down, and the first thing we're going to do is make said funky bow. I'll be right back. Okie dokie, I'm back, and I've got my mat out here, my handy dandy mat, and these are the 3 ribbons that I'm going to use for the funky bow. I got this at the end of last fall, and I paid a pittance for this. It was like 90% off or something, so this didn't cost me hardly anything. And then I had made another wreath last year for the fall, and that I had used this ribbon in, so this didn't cost me anything. So like I said, it's going to be really difficult to kind of give you a total. I would say all told, with all accent pieces, this probably cost me around $50 to make, you know, if I add up all of the supplies over time that I've been collecting them. One thing I did go and buy today was this owl. This wrought iron owl, and it was 50% off, $15. All right, so let's get started on this funky bow. And this is not my creation, by the way. This is the creation, the funky bow is the creation of a lovely lady named Julie over on Southern Charm Wreaths. Go check her out. She makes some gorgeous things. But I'm kind of going to do my version of, you know, what she teaches. It may be exactly how she teaches one of them, I think. But anyway, I'm going to make 2 30-inch strips. Actually, I'm going to make 3 of this particular ribbon and 2 of the other 2 coordinating ribbons. 30-inch strips of each ribbon. Let's get started on that. But I do want 3 of these, this ribbon. So I want this to be the more dominant ribbon in the bow. I'm not going to hang this up today, by the way. This will get hung up when I change out my decor. So that'll be, me hanging it up will be in another video. And this is pretty sparkly ribbon, isn't it? Hang on. I want to chevron the ends. It's not fun to do them once they're on the wreath. Sorry. I'll do this quick. Fold the ribbon in half lengthwise. I go to the edge. Cut up into a deep V. Okay, here we go. Go to 10, go to 20, put it together, and that makes a 5-inch loop. And then you want to twist. You have one-sided ribbon. You want to twist it to bring the right side up. Take your next one. Now I like to go opposite, the opposite direction. It's how I found I like to do it. So 10, 20, make a 5-inch loop, which that did, and go the opposite direction. I'm telling you guys, this ribbon is so nice. There we go. This one. A 5-inch loop and go the opposite direction again. This is two-sided ribbon, so I'm not going to really worry about twisting it. Back to the owl ribbon. 10, 20. Opposite direction. Twist. Two more. Yes, your hand does cramp. I'm trying to do these too. But just hang on. One more. One to do. Okay, there we go. And that is the beginning of a funky bow. We use a pipe cleaner to close the stud, so you just tie it around the middle. Use the hand you're holding the bow with as a nice resistance, and pull that pipe cleaner tight and twist. There you go. And of course, it's going to take some manipulating and whatnot to get it the way you want it. Pull some of the tails up and through and around and so on. And again, I like to do that more once I get it on the wreath. I'm trying to do it here because I don't know what exactly it looked like on the wreath. So there we go. You know what? I think I want one more of these. So I'll make one more. I'm not going to undo it the whole way. Take it down to just one twist. I'd have a mess on my hands. All right, there we go. All righty. All right, I'm going to set this aside for a little bit, because I would just sit here and mess around with this for the next hour, knowing me, trying to get things the way I wanted them to get. So I'll put it down, and I'm going to move the camera to my left and start putting the Deco mesh wreath together. Hi. Okie dokie, I'm back, and here I am with my work wreath. And as you all saw in my haul, or some of you might have seen in the haul I did when I purchased this, got this out of the 4th of July section in Hobby Lobby for 30% off, and the $6.99 to start out with, 30% off of that. And if this is y'all's first time watching me make a work wreath here, using a work wreath, I wanted to let you know that I do them opposite from how most people do them, only because that's the way I've always done them, and I taught myself how to do them, and that's the way I taught myself how to do them. And I also usually have a lot of accent pieces that snug down better when I do it this way versus this way. So I'm going to start out with some value mesh, and I got this from craftoutlet.com. It's 21 inches by 10 yards. It's brown. Let me get this open. I will give a little bit of a product warning here. As you can see already, this type of mesh likes to fray a bit. So just be careful. And here I am wearing a pretty nice top that I just got, but try to be careful not to let it stick to your top, or you will get runs and stuff. This is not nylon though, so I should be okay. All right, so what I do is I just drop it to the floor, and I start by gathering up the end, and I make my wreaths in a looping fashion. If y'all have seen me do this 100 times, speed right on through this part. I start on the outer ring, and I leave myself a little tuft so that I can tuck it between the inner and outer ring. I just snug it down in there and twist. I make my loops about 12 inches long. I don't measure. Come over here and measure. Yep, that's about 12 inches. I've done so many that I just kind of know. So if you feel better about measuring, by all means, you go ahead and measure. I kind of just eyeball it, and I'm going to go all the way around over here, and then I will be right back. I'm going to speed up a little bit, so because this can get to be a little boring, and I will be back when I get back over there, and I'll show you how I transition over to the inner ring. So I will be right back. Okay, I've just snugged it down into the last available chenille tie. So now I'm going to do one more loop, and I'm going to piggyback it right on top. Another easy way to tell you to do this too is to try to accordion it together, especially when it's like this and it's kind of big and flouncy and it's wanting to go everywhere but where you want it to go. Kind of just grab it by your left hand there and kind of accordion it together. Anyway, I'm tucking it, piggybacking it right back down into the same chenille tie that I started with, and I didn't unhook or untie the chenille tie. I just piggybacked it right on top of there, and that does our first outer ring, or the outer ring. So to transition, you just make yourself another loop. This stuff, I'm telling you, it really does have a mind of its own. So we're going to transition right on over to the inner ring, and we're going to go, you can see that this would be the next natural outer ring chenille tie. And I want to go to what would be the next natural inner rings tie, which is right below it there. You can see, there we go. So that's where I'm going to start, and I'm going to work my way around the inner ring in the same way that I did the outer ring. So I will be right back when I get around. One more thing. This is really giving me a fit here, you guys. Try to keep your deco mesh, I don't want to say right side up because it really doesn't have a right side, but keep the same side up. Try not to twist your deco mesh as you go around, because then it's just, it doesn't look as consistent to my eye anyway. All right, I'm going to fight with this, and I'll be back when I get around to the end. All right, I've just finished putting it into the last available chenille tie. And the way I finish mine is I just make one more loop. And I piggyback it right down on top of where I started, the inner ring. And that finishes it off. Phew, this stuff, I will admit, was not easy to work with. I just cut it off, give myself enough of a tuft to tuck it down between the two. All right, so next I'm trying to decide between these two coordinating deco meshes. Now here's my bow. I think that might be a little bit too yellow. I think I like that one a little bit better. So I'm probably going to need 3 rows of this, and I'll show you how I'll do that. Start this out the same way you did the brown. Just grab the end and let it drop to the floor. And start, I didn't tuck that down, did I? Tuck this down so it's out of the way. And again, I start on the outer ring, leave myself enough of a tuft to tuck and make my way all the way around. Now, I'm going to speed up as I make my way around the outer and the inner ring, transitioning in the same way as I did with the brown. The only difference is I'm making sure when I make my loops that they come pretty far up and over. So I would say add another inch or 2 onto the length of the coordinating deco mesh, because I like it, I don't like to put them all on at the same time. I like it to look like it has a little bit of movement. So I don't want to smash it right down on top of there. I want it to, you know, to be able to kind of stick a couple fingers between there and be able to manipulate and separate them out. So that's what I'm doing. I will be back when I get around the outer and then the inner ring, and then I'll show you how we'll go around one more time. Be right back. All right, here I come back around to where I started. One more tuft and piggyback it right in where I started, into the chenille tie where I started. And now I want to go around one more time to try to fill it in a little bit. So I'm going to alternate. That was the inner ring. Excuse me. I'm going to alternate to the outer ring now. And then back over here to the inner ring. If it's right, you have one right beside it. I don't like to do that. That's a little bit too close together. I don't think you can really tell when it's all said and done, but I like to kind of take it to the next one over. And we are back around. So as you can see, that kind of filled it in nicely. So I just trim off the edge, and I just about used all of this. I have a little bit left. All right, so there we go. We have all our Deco mesh on now. Now I just need to figure out where I want my accent pieces to go. I tend to put my bows up there. That's just the way I like to do them. So I think I won't stray too much from that, and I'll go ahead and put my bow right about there. By the way, I did add another orange loop. So I do have 3 loops of each color on this bow. There we go. And again, I'm not going to mess with it too much until I get all of my accent pieces on. And then I will mess with it, and I might even trim some of these down. All right, next to go on will be Mr. Owl. And I'm just going to use the chenille ties to attach him. I'm not going to glue him in any way. Just going to tie him on nice and tight. Actually had a little hole there used for a nail on a wall, but I'm going to use it like that. All right, now the only other thing I have to put on this are some flowers. So let me get my, and I will glue the flowers on. Where is my cutter? You know what? Be right back. Okie dokie. I'm not even sure I want to use too much of the yellow. I kind of like the muted. You know what? I think that I'm just going to put a tuft there. And maybe one up here. And one down here. I know for a fact I don't want the yellow one there. And that, once I get the bow all fixed up, I feel sure I'm going to put a tuft of ribbon there, but let me get these on. Need to plug in my hot glue gun. All right, got my hot glue gun plugged in. And I'm going to cut these down a little bit. I'm actually going to leave those in a tuft, just like that. I'm not going to cut them apart. I'm going to go ahead and snug these down, well, this one anyway, down into the chenille tie. And that is the way I'm going to do it. This is feeding the puppy dogs over there. If you hear something in the background, you probably hear the dogs slurping after a while here. I got these flowers, by the way, in the section in Hobby Lobby where they have their flower picks. Now, something here. All right. I just don't like the yellow. I think it's too much. So let me mess with this bow while my blue is heating up. Now, let me get these flowers glued on, and then I'll decide whether I want to put some more, like a bit of a touch of the bow over here. I think I definitely want a grouping over here. One there, and one there. Okay, that's how I want it. Okay. So here I come with the blue. Just burned myself. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Be careful when you use hot glue. Uh-oh. Our electricity just went out. Hang on. We have a generator. It should pop on here. It is. It just came on. Yep. There's our generator. Yay. Sorry about that. Excuse the interruption. All right, now, there we are so far. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. And I wanna cut some more lengths of ribbon here. I'm gonna make them about 12 inches long. I want 3 of each because I want 3 tufts. All right, there we go. And pull the wreath back over here. Okay, now, one of each. And one here. And I'm not worrying about these chenille ties. They're just going to blend right in, you guys. There we go. One there, one here, and one here. And try to pull the tails, those two opposing one another, and then kind of just try to curl the middle one in a little bit. And one for up here, whoops. Then I'm going to get this put up on my easel and take a look at it and see if it needs anything else. And see, I tried not to buy a bunch for this, and probably if I had gone out to specifically buy accent pieces for this, I probably would have bought some more flowers. But I went and just grabbed stuff that I had because I've spent enough money this month, to be honest with you. And I wanted to go ahead and make this. There we go. I'm going to get this up on the easel, and we'll take a look at it and see if it needs anything else. I'm still not convinced I don't need that. I really don't think I want the yellow with it. I have them, but I don't really think I think that's just too much. Too much of a pop. Here I said I was going to use sunflowers and stuff, but I didn't. All right, there's just not enough yellow in the ribbon. Maybe if I had more of a gold, like is in these flowers, but not these. So Anyway, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get it up on the easel and I'll be right back and we'll take a look at it. Okie dokie, everyone, I'm back. And you know what, you guys? I have decided that this is actually going to be a fall wreath because it just looks like fall. It looks more like fall than it does a late summer wreath. So I won't be putting this out until at least September. It would be a good September wreath. That would be good to put out on the wagon wheels or out on the front porch or out on the front light post. That'd be fine. But let me bring you up a little closer here. Bow turned out beautiful. Look at that thing. My goodness, I just love these funky bows. And there's Mr. Owl. I did end up adding one more tuft of ribbon in. I'll show you where here in a second. I have it right. Here we go. I put one more tuft of ribbon right back here. Not that you can really see it that much, but it just adds a little bit of something on this side. But that's it. That's it for today, which is Thursday, and for this week, you guys. So I am just going to say, I hope that you guys have a great weekend and that everybody's health is doing well, and that you have a great weekend and to spend it with friends and family and those that you love and who love you. So I will see you next week, possibly. I'm not sure what I have going on then, but for now, I'm just gonna say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.